There's a little, I don't know exactly what it's called, but I know that that's for Captain Vaughn. And here is the back of him. As you can see, there is the backpack that he wore, similar to Commander Cody. But another complaint I forgot to mention earlier in the video is that uh, people are complaining that Lego is now too cheap, not just to print things like waist capes, but also printing stuff or creating stuff such as backpacks. So I do know there's a lot of complaints, but if you want to go to a website like Clone Army Customs to purchase a backpack, then by all means go for it. But I personally am pretty content with the way Captain Vaughn looks. Additional thing that I want to mention about Captain Vaughn is that if you don't like Captain Vaughn or you just don't care enough to have a Captain Vaughn, you can simply just turn them into another 332nd Clone Trooper just by taking off the visor. But if you prefer to have your Clone Troopers be more consistent, all you can do is just take one 501st clone and just simply swap these helmets around, like so. Up next, we are given two Lego Jet Troopers, and here they have blue jetpacks similar to the one we were given from the 501st set. We have this clone with the same blue jetpack. And all in all, it's basically just a normal 332nd Clone Trooper, except just with a jetpack. Lastly, we are given just a normal 332nd Clone Trooper, except I chose to add a little antenna on him just because I think it looks cool, and also because the Lego set just came with extra visors and antennas in and of itself. So if you don't want an antenna, you can just take it off, but I personally like the antenna on this Clone Trooper, and as mentioned before, these types of Clone Troopers now have holes in them compared to the 332nd Clone Trooper that we got in the droid tank with the actual Ahsoka Tano. If you take a notice that this Clone Trooper doesn't have the holes, but like I said, I personally don't think it's that big of a deal. Moving on to the first build, we are first given just a normal cannon stud shooter, and so here's how the front looks, and here's the back, and I do think it's just a nice mini build, but I don't really find I don't see the purpose in including it just because I don't think there were any stud shooters during the Siege of Mandalore, but nonetheless it serves the purposes. If you press this lever back here, it fires like so. Lastly, we have the spear itself, and people did say that it was smaller than the Kashyyyk Trooper set, which I actually agree when I compared them, but nonetheless it has stud shooters here, which have the same function as the stud shooter itself, and you can also put two Clone Troopers here as well, just to just move them around. And that brings us to the conclusion of reviewing the 332nd Clone Trooper Battle Pack. All in all, it's a pretty good set, although this set has some pretty good parts, such as having 4 Clone Troopers and having a really nice build. It does have its flaws too, such as, according to some people, having the holes within the helmets, which I don't think is a big deal, but having a speeder that was not even at the Siege of Mandalore, as well as having not necessarily accurate version of Captain Vaughn, but all in all, I do think it's a very good set. So I recommend you continue to buy as many as you can if that's what you want, or just get at least one as soon as possible while these sets are still being produced. I will admit that I personally don't like the face prints of the Clone Troopers, given just because I personally prefer the 2014 or 2013 version of the Clone Troopers, where they have a much more accurate face print, such as the ones in the 212 Clone Trooper Battle Pack or just the normal 501st Clone Troopers back in the day. Nonetheless, it is a very satisfying set overall, so I really appreciate the value that this set has given me, and I do intend to use it for future animation, so be sure to be on the lookout for this.